Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. So today I'd like to take you guys around for our June garden tour, but I'd also like to have a discussion. So today I'm doing this video while wildfires are burning all throughout Canada and causing huge air quality issues. So I'm going to discuss that, our native gardening and permaculture and climate change and what you too can do to help your neighborhood and your community find a better way into the future. All right, so I'm gonna start back here near our pond. We've got our hazelnut bushes over here, all growing up really nicely. And we've planted tomatoes in that bare space back there. And I'm hoping to get some other native plants in there to fill it in, but for now we've got some tomatoes. Everything is growing up big and beautifully, supporting a lot of life and a lot of habitat. So here we are at the pond. We've got our native Canadian anemone here. It's just blooming, looking wonderful. And our pond, which offers a lot of habitat. This is such a serene and lovely area for me. I love sitting down here by the pond and just listening to the birds and listening to the water. So in Canada, there are a ton of wildfires going right now. 414 wildfires burning as of today, with 239 that are considered out of control. There's 20,183 people that remain evicted from their homes. The poor air quality that these fires have caused is the worst air quality that we have seen in our lifetime. And it's not just affecting Canada, it's affecting down into the United States as well. So I can still smell, outside, I can still smell the campfire, basically. It smells like a campfire. As I move over, we've got I've put in a bag here. I'd like to do more of these, but I've put in a bag here. I'm growing potatoes here. So I'm just adding to our garden space as I can in places where the soil isn't always the best for this. So this is where we've got our potatoes. And then you can see how big our garlic is. It's doing really well. So as climate change continues to be an issue, the fires here and the poor quality of air and the destruction that they cause are going to continue. The latest IPCC report was clear that we have to make drastic changes to avoid complete destruction of our climate. We're currently on track to reaching 1.5 degree increase by 2027. That's just 4 years from now. We've got some more garlic. And then up in our apple trees, they are finally producing a ton of apples. So I can't wait to get all these fresh apples this fall. So I've been concerned about climate change for a while now, biodiversity loss and the insect apocalypse. Not because it'll affect me as much, more because it's going to affect my children and any grandchildren that we have. Knowing all of this information, I believe as a privileged society, it's our moral obligation to do whatever we can to help out. So to help the earth, to help our community, and to help our global village. Okay. These are my kids' gardens where we have a lot of annuals growing. So we've got some Swiss chard here that's gone to seed. So we're going to collect that seed. And then some Swiss chard that's growing out here. We have tomatoes and corn and beans. My kids plant these gardens all themselves. So we're growing children that know how to grow their own food and protect wildlife and protect habitat. So here we've chosen to build habitat and an ecosystem on our space. We steward the land that we have to protect the environment, to protect the ecosystem, and to protect our future. We plant a lot of native plants to support the insect population, and we're also building soil and growing as much food as possible, not just for us. We quite often share our abundance with family, friends, and are constantly supporting the local food bank. So we also like to support our global village by making donations to charities that help the environment and help women and children in need. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys this. This is our annual garden that I am slowly transitioning into more of a food forest. Here, I've planted a lot more strawberry plants. So I'm looking forward to having them grow. This is our horseradish plant, and if you've ever smelled the flower of a horseradish, it is absolutely so sweet. It's a lovely smell. Here we've got our beans. We are currently in, I believe it's a month long now, quite the drought. So unfortunately, I have to come out here and water once to twice a day to make sure that it stays saturated for our annuals, because the annuals don't have roots that go down that deep, so they have to be watered. The perennials are not so bad, as they have roots that go down deep and they can reach the moisture down there. So over here, I've got tomatoes planted in with our sea buckthorn. And newly addition, this is a cherry shrub called Crimson Passion. So I got 2 of these shrubs. This one flowered a lot, so I'm interested to see if it gives us anything. But I added 2 of these to this garden, just again to add more perennials every year to see what we get. I do also want to plant more asparagus in here, as we love asparagus. So I'd like to get more asparagus going, but we've got this one here. I'm just gonna let it fern out so that I give it 1 more year to get strong, and then we'll harvest more asparagus from it. And we've got our tomatoes back here. I'm gonna come back here today probably and mulch with some straw just to try and keep more moisture in the ground. Up here with the beans, I've got this other cherry bush. So it'll be different from our cherry trees. I've got another hascap, and then I've planted at the base of our climber here 4 grapes. They're seedless green grapes, so I'm excited to get more of those. Then we've got all of our raspberries along the fence line. These produce a ton of raspberries. It's just so exciting for the kids to come out and pick them every year. So we're excited to get that started this year. So I wanted to bring up this topic of conversation today because I was visited quite recently by the most lovely bylaw officer. She was quite wonderful to talk to, but she did bring up the fact that a neighbor and also a subscriber of this channel went to her and complained about our yard and what we're doing here. And the concern with this neighbor was property value, or perceived property value, and money, basically. So as our world is burning, as Canada is burning, and I'm here doing my absolute best to, build habitat, build ecosystem, and support the climate, I'm having someone try and bring me down because of money. So I'm a little concerned about that. So this concern to me is very superficial, naive, and incredibly short-sighted. Our entire country is on fire. We've been given the most dire warning from the IPCC report. But the greatest concern for many people, including the governments, is the dollar bill. We're burning our children's future, quite literally. If you are not actively doing something to support positive change, then you're voting for more wildfires, more drought, more crop loss, and higher sea levels. And if you're trying to stand in the way of someone who's trying to do good in this world, then you should be ashamed of yourself. The hardy kiwi finally bloomed this year. Let's see if it gives us something. So I challenge all of you to go out today and start something good. Be the change. Start a food garden and donate it to your local food bank. Donate your time to help in a soup kitchen. Plant a native flower garden and support your local ecosystem. Be the person that your children and your grandchildren will be honored to know. Go out in the world today and do something good. Do something amazing. Don't spend your time looking at your neighbors and bringing people down. Spend your time doing good things. And if you don't know quite what you can do that is good, educate yourself. Spend your time and read some good books. Know what you need to do to go into the future making good choices. We have little baby plums for the first time, and we are so excited. So unfortunately, along with this complaint about my garden, we also had to remove our chickens, as despite being in farm country and with a farm 3 doors down, I am not allowed to have chickens here. So we did have to get rid of them. They went to a lovely lady with a farm where they can free range. So I'm excited for them and they look very happy. She sent me pictures, but it's unfortunate that the community here voted against having chickens. So there will be a lot more food waste going into the local garbage. Hopefully we can compost as much as possible, but these guys looked after the majority of our food waste and then gave us eggs that, our neighbors and friends and family got to enjoy. So this area is now empty and I get the privilege of deciding of what to do with it. And I know exactly what's going to happen here. So I will show you guys in the future what we decide to do here, but I think it's going to be beautiful and beneficial and a good move forward. So our garden is growing amazingly. I'm going to follow this up showing you guys my front yard and what the plants out there are doing. So make sure you keep watching. But I just wanted to say that in the future now, knowing that some people obviously need some more education, that's what I wanted to do this site for. I wanted to educate people on the benefits of having a native food forest in town, in suburbia, in where there's a lot of huge monoculture farms going on. You can be the ark. You can be that boat. Be the lifeboat and lift everyone up around you. So I'm going to be doing a lot more educational posts on native flower gardening, on permaculture, and especially urban permaculture, and what you can do for your community and the global village and helping the future. So make sure you guys follow along, and I'll see you guys next time.